man. How are you?
How are you?
Good. What are you doing?
I'm just pulling up in front of this development before I shoot my next level interview.
Nice. Well, good luck.
All right, I appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye, boss man.
All right, bye.
Yeah, a big saying that my father used to always say is, no one ever said it was going to be easy. So whenever things are extremely difficult, or I'm in a space where things are really rocky, my father said that like all the time. I used to hear him say it even when I was a kid, or even we'd be doing something together or working on the house, and he'd always be like, no one ever said it was going to be easy. So whenever things are hard, I always naturally think of that, and it actually brings me some peace that I'm like, not everything is easy, and I'm eventually going to get through this. So. How you doing? My name is Kevin Dibby. I'm a real estate agent and investor. I am of Nigerian descent, born in New York, raised in Dallas. Currently go back and forth between Dallas and Austin for business. The moment that made me get into real estate was just being surrounded by guys who were elevating or had their own brands at the time. So I had some friends who were in the restaurant industry. I had some guys who were branded in trading and modeling, and I realized when people would speak about them, they were known for these particular things. At the time, I think I was making decent money in tech at the time, but wasn't branded like at all. So I realized I was like, I was asking myself what was going to be that thing, and real estate was always a thing in the back of my mind. But knowing, when you have parents of Nigerian descent, it was always about grades and, getting degrees and things along those lines. So real estate was always an aching thing, even back when I was in high school and like early college. And then, when I started hanging around these entrepreneurs or these guys, that was the final moment when I said, yeah, I'm going to finally start to get into my purpose, which is what I'm doing today. Yeah, success to me was always about two things. It was one about, being disciplined and consistent and great across multiple avenues of life. So whether that's financially, mentally, spiritually, and financially. So, being vast and good in kind of all of those areas was kind of the main thing that success means to me. And then you combine that with then taking that and being able to push that to whatever generation or other people that you touch. So those are the two things that I always knew growing up was going to be success, was be able to be vast in multiple areas of life while being able to touch others kind of at the same time. Oh yeah, biggest thing that drives me is discipline. So like I said, motivation is cool and motivation is okay. There's going to be days where you're motivated and you're extremely hungry to do whatever it is you want to do. For me, discipline has always been the main thing to keep me going. So regardless whether I feel 100% one day, 30% the next, 40% the next, the discipline is whatever schedule or task or things that I've created that I said that I'm going to do, I make sure that I do them, regardless of how I'm feeling. Whatever plan or whatever thing that you create to kind of keep you on track and keep you on schedule, I always tell people to be disciplined to it, and adjust as needed, but be disciplined to it because that's going to be the thing that's going to keep you going, not necessarily your motivation at times. Motivation will waver, but discipline doesn't waver at all if you don't let it. Okay. I think everybody has times in the industry where they feel down, where they feel like things are difficult and they feel like quitting. For me, when kind of something is your passion and your purpose, I never wavered or never even thought about quitting. And that's just kind of the way I kind of grew up. I knew that this was a passion and purpose of mine, and I knew that there's going to be ups and downs in everything that I choose or whatever it is that I do. So I never actually thought about quitting, like ever. Like I knew that I was going to take this to as high as a level as I can. So yeah, I never thought about quitting. But there's definitely times where I have been down, and you want to build yourself back and up in those times, but never thought about ever wavering from the industry. Biggest thing I would tell myself, and I was blessed enough to have this message. So if I was to teach anyone else, would be to be as disciplined and consistent as possible while being as accountable to yourself as possible. A lot of people in this industry are not accountable. And I feel like they feel like a broker or a team leader, someone is going to save them or make them all this money. And really getting into this thing, you are really building your own thing. You're building your own brand. People recognize the person, they recognize the agent, not necessarily the broker or team. So you're getting into this to really build your own thing, eventually at some point. And if I was to, luckily I was told that type of stuff, so that's kind of why I am where I am today. But as I teach other agents, I always try to tell them that to be as disciplined, as consistent as possible, and be extremely accountable, because it is very, very much on you. It doesn't matter whether you're, child, someone in high school, first generation, you just got your first job, even if you're an elder and you're older than me, if I can touch and inspire anyone in any type of way, through what I'm doing, that's the bigger mission. So really, I don't have like a cap of people. It's more anybody who's inspired by anything that I'm doing. I'm hoping that I could touch them in some type of way. Success has responsibility attached to it, or it's something that we should be doing. We should be giving back. I think, not only is it just part of, I feel like, just the journey of us being alive, but I do think spiritually it's something that we should be doing. I don't think you should be living your entire life and then gatekeeping your experiences and everything that's happened. I think it's a natural part of being a human and being who we are to be able to share things that you've learned, and to be able to give back to the next generation or peers or anyone else that you've learned, that you've been around. So I do think, as you're successful, you need to share. So it's a big part of what I believe. I think it came naturally when I got into the business, and as I started kind of growing it, I think people were kind of inspired naturally, and I started to realize the importance of it, of how I was changing other people's lives. So, at first it wasn't something that I thought of at first. I never thought of myself as any type of mogul or someone who even inspired anybody. I really was trying to just be good at this particular discipline. And then it started to shift into that. And as it shifted into that, I started to realize the importance of it, and that this is something that I need to take seriously. So, it spiraled on, and then, here we are today. And when the cameras are off, I think the biggest thing that fills me is that, loved ones, people that I care about, are taken care of. And then just within myself, the things that I tell myself that I'm going to do, that I'm doing it. So a lot of the things that actually make me happy is actually really just the discipline part of things. And like when I can finish a complete day, and I did everything that I told myself that I was going to do, that is like one of the biggest hallelujah moments sometimes for myself. So it's making sure, as long as everyone in, the family and everyone is good that I care about, and then just that discipline in myself, that I'm able to tell myself that I'm going to do something and I'm doing it consistently. Couldn't ask for more. I just want to be remembered as someone who came into this industry and did things a little bit slightly different than most others do, and was able to make an impact not only on just people in the industry, but people outside of it. If I had to pretty much nail it on the head, it would be that. What people realize after watching this episode is that I'm a little more, I'm deeper than what people think I am. I think at times, I think some people, and I had this adamant through social media at times, because I used to not really talk. I used to not talk as much on camera, so a lot of people would just kind of see the lifestyle things and the luxury and stuff like that, but really didn't know or understand really the person I am through words, and then also how deep I am when it comes to things like discipline and consistency and like work ethic. A lot of people didn't know that stuff. They just saw the materialistic things. So I'm hoping that people really get to know and understand that part of me, because that is me, and it's a big part of me, and like kind of my regular day and the things that I do. So I'm hoping that that's a message that's kind of came from this. Anywhere, Dibia Views on Instagram, Facebook Kevin Dibia, but pretty much Dibia Views across the board on all social media platforms. So follow me, hit me up, and let's talk.